What's up, y'all? My last video just went poof. I don't even know what happened. My last video, it just cut off. It just went goodbye, like, see you later. But I'm back, and want to talk to you about where I left off at. And I was talking about the relationship, and at the same time, I was sharing about how to build content with YouTube and the pages. And, I like to talk about topics, and I like to give information too that can help other people. So I'm back, y'all, and I just wanted to say, I have something I hooked up for y'all. You probably gonna like it. And it's something that says, look, I love you, 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 love you. I love my YouTube tribe. I love my YouTube tribe. I love you guys. And I want you to stay with me. I want you to stay focused. I want you to stay attentive to what I am saying. We have been so helpful for each other. You've been helpful for me. I know I've been helpful to you. And I just wanted to continue to let you know that I just want to share my story about my life, my relationship, and how I was married for 20 years in a relationship. And in 2025, that relationship ended in a separation, which took me to a whole different level of life where I was going through so much. But I learned how to survive, and I'm still learning how to survive, and I'm still pushing and striving. And I want to share this with you because I know that there's more people like me going through a separation after being married for so long. And I know the hurt is real. I know the disappointment is real. I know the letdown is real. And I just, want to get on here and say, hey, you know what? We are survivors. And you want to know how we are survivors? We are survivors because in the midst of everything we're going through, there's so much confusion. There's so much self-blame. There's so much saying, if I could have only did it different. But guess what? In reality, when you're going through your life, there's always going to be something in life you're going to say, if I could have did it different. From your education, if I only would have went into school and got a different education, or if I only would have went and got a different job, or if I only would have, your life is going to have some if I only would have went. And I begin to say that to myself, if I only would have did this, maybe I should have did this, maybe I should have did that. And I just kept going on and on and on in my mind, pondering until it consumed my day. Until I looked back and I was behind in things, and I didn't want to achieve certain things. And, and I said, I want to write a book. I want to write a book. I want to be an author of a book. And it took me so long to get it out, but it's out. I'm going to share it on one of my pages. My book is out. And it was a battle, and it's still a battle, but it's easier now, because when you go into a phase and then you coming out of a phase, it's going to be some back and forth. It's going to be some twists and turns. There's going to be some bumps in the road. It's going to be some rains and some tornadoes and some tsunamis and storms and stuff in your life. But if you keep on going, if you keep on pushing, if you keep on going, you'll see that it's not like the first day when you seen them walking out the door. The feeling is not like that the first day. And one of the things you have to do, you have to battle confusion. Confusion is go into the mind, and it battles the mind. It's like confusion just sits there, and you can put on the TV loud at night to go to sleep. You can put on the movies that to keep your mind from. But if you keep your mind in the state of confusion, the state of self-blame, pity, doubt, pointing fingers, blaming others instead of yourself, it's just going to consume you. It's just going to take up your personal life. And I learned that when I saw him walking out of that door. I called him everything from a coward to an individual who didn't know how to fight. And if you really love me, you would fight for what you love. I said so many things. And I didn't say it screamingly or yelling or cursing. I said it from a hurtful state. Like, how somebody's talking and they get ready to cry at the same time. That was me. Okay. And so one of the things that helped me to get out of the state of confusion, and it may not be for everybody, but I'm a person that shared my details. And one of the things that helped me get out of the state of confusion was my prayer life. I had to rely on just me and God. I'm not saying that it's not good to go to church and jump around and you know, sing and all that stuff with everybody else. That's good. But after that, then what? You still on, you know, have to deal with things on your own. And for me, my prayer life was there. Like, I had to build it. I had to talk to God and say, oh God, help me to build a personal relationship with you. Help me to get closer to you. Help me to work on this issue that I have. And it helped me. And I wasn't praying every day, but then even when I started praying more, after I prayed, I felt better. That's just me. Other people may have do different things like exercise, a yoga class, a Pilates class, whatever. But that's just me. My, you know, I to get myself out of the confusion, I had to build a prayer life. I did that. And I had to ask God to help me completely turn it around. Like, show me what to do. I'm confused. I'm hurt. I'm angry. I'm bitter. And just show me what to do. And I know I mentioned other hobbies in my other videos, but one of the beautiful hobby, like one of the other hobbies I had was plants. Like, I love plants. I love planting. So I started doing gardening on my windowsill, because I don't have a house. One of the things I do desire is to get a beautiful home. But I started doing like gardening on my windowsill. And I started doing peppers, and I have plants all over my house. And I started even taking even more extra care of them. And, you know, that kind of just helped me to balance my life at the same time, why I had to go through this cycle and this term of not, you know, allowing myself to become confused, solely based on what happened and what was going on in my personal life. And so, you know, and one of the things, with the turnaround is that when you do turn it around, you begin to see things more clearer. So it's like two sides of the coin. You have the head of the coin, and you have the other part of the coin. And you said, look, I have to flip this over. I have to flip it over because the side it's causing confusion in my life. So I began to flip things over, and I began to flip, and I began to say, okay, this is better. This is being done better. I had to completely turn it around to make it like my life more positive and more stable, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, so, and one of the ways you turn things around is that you really have to check yourself. You have to really self-examine yourself. And if you can't find nothing, honestly, if you can't find nothing honestly, it's to me, you can't take it personal. You just only have to say, oh, you know what? Let me just try to get myself back in the place where I need to be. Let me get myself back on in you know, on the level that I mean, because sometimes you feel like you just sinking, like you're sinking, and you don't know how to keep yourself afloat. And then when you begin to flip the coin on the confusion, when you begin to make a complete turnaround, you begin to see that whatever happened in my life, I still want to love my life. I still want to love myself. I still want to do those good things that made me happy, that made me joyful. And a lot of times when people stay in bitterness, and then they start another relationship and they don't heal themselves, they bring that bitterness over to that new relationship. They bring that untrust over to that new relationship. They bring that hurt over to that new relationship. And then when that new relationship is not working, because you might have a person who never, ever experienced what you experienced, and you're throwing these things their way, you're recreating a stage that you should have closed the curtain on a long time ago. And so now it becomes the things that repeat. So I had to completely turn it around, because I did not want to, for example, the marriage heal and we come back together, but I have bitterness and unforgiveness and lack of trust. I didn't want to have that. If the marriage did not come back together and separated, and I got into a brand new relationship, I didn't want to carry baggage. I didn't want to carry. So either way, I had to flip the coin. I had to flip it. I had to turn it around. I had to check myself. I had to come to the realization is that if I don't fix this, then it's going to stay broken. And so I had to kind of, and I had asked God just to help me shift a lot of stuff, like just shift a lot of things that is creating the wrong environment for me and confusion in my mind, so I can stay focused and fix, all of these things that is going on. So that's why I was saying that, one of the things I wanted to do is to share my experience, to get on YouTube, to become the YouTuber I always wanted to be, to help someone that's going through what I am going through, to help see them out of that tunnel, help them flip it, help them check themselves, help us, and we all build a community together where we continue to be there for each other. And also, like, I said on some of my other videos about how when you set up your YouTube account, to put your contents on there, that once you upload your video, make sure your video is in 20 minutes. You pay for 20 minutes, put it on HD, on 60, on 40, whichever way you want to put the lighting. But it really doesn't matter, because it ain't about the glamour of it. As long as people can see your face and hear your voice, the raw material the YouTube puts out there to help you get to where you want to go. And when you put your video in, when you do your video and you finish, you automatically go to your YouTube page. When you open up your YouTube page, you press the plus button. The plus button will allow you to select the video, and then you upload the video. But when you see the description section, do not forget to put the tag in the subscription section. Let me find some of my tags that I use. Let me see. Hold on a second. So one of the tags I used was hashtag couples. I use hashtag relationships. I use hashtag love. Let's see if I have any more hashtag here. I put the hashtag marriage. I put hashtag separation. Like, so I just put a lot of the hashtags that's related to the topics I was talking to, and maybe some other better hashtags. And you can always cut and paste my hashtag. You can always cut and paste my title. I have a title. Let me see. I have two titles I use. Like, one of my titles I'm gonna share with you right now. One of my titles was, how am I surviving a separation after 20 years of marriage? So that's one of my titles. So you don't want the title to be long and dragging and stuff, but you want it to be detailed and short. And you want to put your hashtag, and you want to make sure you upload your videos. And it's something when you want to help somebody else. We should always be in a mindset to help someone else, and because that's the gratitude that I want. That's the positive life that I want. And while I'm going through the process of my separation, I want to be able to say, come along, let's hold each other's hands, let's be in a family to with each other, to talk and understand the things that are going on in our life. So yes, so it was just so much confusion for me, and I had to in a whole marriage, or even a relationship, if you're not married, the one of the main things too is to be a listener. Like, if you're the type of person that you're all closed in, you don't want to talk, you don't want to express yourself, you don't want to say anything, that's dangerous. And I'm not forcing you to be an extrovert, because introverts are very, to themselves people. But and when you're with a person and you want them to understand how to treat you, how to love you, you got to comment back. Like, if they do something, oh, I appreciate that, I love that, oh, this and that. You have to communicate to the point that the person would know the next level to go with you. And with my husband, I didn't have that as often. Like, I appreciate this is what you're doing to me. I would hear, this food is good. But certain things, I wish it would have been more communication, so I know where to go to the next level to keep him happy and to keep him in, where he's enjoying our relationship and things like that. And being a listener is like how you could be a listener to somebody who doesn't communicate and doesn't talk. So I just kind of like took it as if you cannot love somebody who don't love themselves. I honestly, look, let's be for real. I had to put pieces together that I'm just trying to guess this person. And honestly, you cannot love nobody who don't love themselves. You cannot make a person happy if they don't make themselves happy. And some of the things that we went through, even financially, I'm gonna talk about some other videos, some financial issues that I feel that messed up the marriage too. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about any other videos, but when you come to the place that you are a good listener, you try to find out how you can help this individual, how to help this person, and you have to balance your respect. You have to balance your respect. I mean, yes, you have to have respect, but if somebody's not respecting you, you can't be nobody's punching bag, because that's very hurtful, emotionally abusive, and things like that. You cannot be anybody's punching bag. Also, another thing I want to say real quick, names. Never call your spouse names jokingly. Never call your spouse names jokingly, because it can hurt the person, and they can laugh it off, but it could, like, if you say, "Oh, you so stupid," or you'll say something like, listen here, see now, or what are you, some sort of an idiot, like, stuff like that. You know how some people say names jokingly? That is not cool, because the person will start feeling it in here, and everybody's not going to say, "Hey, you know what, those words you're saying is hurtful. I don't like to be called names," even if it's jokingly. You have to be able to communicate and say those things so that partner will know, "Hey, you know what, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call your names and stuff." And he used to call me, one of the things he would call me and say, it's not like like, how you jokingly, you talking, and you might say, what are you, some sort of an idiot, or what are you, crazy, you kidding me, or you're crazy, we don't, no, what are you doing that for? Like, so I'm an adventurous person. I'm gonna do adventurous things. Like, if I go out and I'm walking in the forest, or if I'm walking in the rainforest and things like that, and certain things that he probably wouldn't want to do and I would do, he'd be like, "Oh no, you crazy, you must be an idiot. Well, come get back here, you idiot." Like, I'm not saying that that's what people say, but I'm just saying, like, an example, when you call names, just to generalize. I'm not gonna say like we called each other names, but there was times that names came out jokingly that I didn't appreciate, and I had to tell him. And then some things I said that he didn't appreciate. So that was a good communication thing right there. But never jokingly say things to your spouse that you think is a joke, but they may not take it as a joke. So that, I mean, I didn't mean to go off on that, but I just want, I want to bring that up, because sometimes that happens. It comes up in relationships, and you have to be a good listener. And then at the end of the day, people, with all love and honesty, you can't force the issue. You cannot force the issue. If you force the issue, you can make it worse. And then at the end, it won't even be no friendship. It won't be no communication. And friendship is important, especially if you're raising kids. So if you push the issue, it can make things worse. And, oh yeah, I remember. I was going on a trip one day, and I think I was going somewhere on a trip, and you're supposed to have your shoes on. I ain't have my shoes on. Something, I broke the rules with something or whatever. And he said, "You crazy? Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? He just started getting on me, right? And I kind of took it hurtful for somebody to call me crazy. Or I would have rather said, "Girl, you so adventurous, you better put your shoes back on and stop doing whatever." But he got on me the harsh way. And I don't know if that was because of fear. He was scared, excited, or whatever. But that's why I said, don't ever call your spouse's names. And I came on, I said to him, when you called me those names, it was hurtful. When you yelled at me, it was hurtful. And things like that. And then he apologized. So that's why I said, never call your spouse's names, and even jokingly, because that could hurt them. But anyway, I just want you to hear those pointers that I was saying about my relationship. I want you to hear those pointers about YouTube. I want to encourage you to go ahead and start a channel, because people need to hear your voice. People need to hear the things that you're going through in your relationship, and how did you come together to come with terms to the battle confusion, to turn things around, to check yourself, to balance respect, to become a good listener. Like, come on and share this stuff. And I'm your girl T. I'm going to come back with you with more content. I love you. I'm glad that you was able to be a part of what I'm doing. And please send your support. Please send your subscription, subscribe, share. Because I got some more stuff. I got a lot of stuff coming. I got a lot of stuff. I'm just getting started. But guess what? I got it up for you again. I love you. Look at this. I'm showing some love. I'm showing my love. I saw this in the store. This was so cute. Look at this. I love you guys. Be encouraged. Stay encouraged. Look, I'm going to show it to you. You show it to me. Much love. And have a good one.